By the end of this video, you're going to know how to fit skating board like a pro. We're going to look at scribing to an uneven floor, external corners and internal corners. Hi everybody, Mick here from Mick's Woodwork Wonders, and in this video I want to help you with some of the common problems you'll find when you're fitting your skating board. Now, our first scenario is we've got an uneven floor here, you see. I've replicated this uneven floor by putting this piece of scrap down on the bottom here. But in the middle we've got this lump, so we need to scribe to that so our skating board fits nicely down to the floor. Now, there's a few different methods for doing this. You can use things like a washer, where you can put your pencil through the middle of the washer and then just run your washer across the floor like that, let it roll. But in this instance, sometimes the thickness of your side of your pencil there, between the centre of your pencil and what sits on the floor, is the right for the scribe, and in this case it is. So I'm going to even the gap out, so I've got the same gap this side and this side, so that we're not taking so much off. If I push this down to one end, of course the gap's going to increase, same if I push it that way. So what I'm going to do is even that gap out by putting it about 50-50 like that, and the pencil can sit on the floor, and as you can see, the centre of the pencil, if you can see that, is right on the edge of the skating board, which is perfect. And it'll be the same if I do it this side. Again, it's on the edge of the skating board. So all I'm going to do then is I'm going to roll my pencil across the floor like that, and then it'll ride over the uneven floor like that. Just do that again so it makes the line a bit thicker so you can see it on camera. Like that. So as you can see there, you can see that it's just marked the edge of the skating board to the uneven floor. Now if it's very fine, you can just take that out with a sander. If it's a little bit more, you might need to cut it, maybe with a jigsaw or a bandsaw, whatever you've got. For this instance, I'm just going to take this out with a sander. So I've got our maker sander, and we're just going to sand across here and just sand up to our line. Okay, so you might have to try this a few times. Don't be frightened to keep trying it, because the more you try it and you'll get a better finish. So as you can see, I'm happy with that. That's scribed to the floor, it's sat down on both sides. So what we need to do now, I'm going to just turn this sample around so you can see. What we need to do now is a mitre on this corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm holding that piece in position where it needs to be, and then I'm just going to mark down the back with our pencil. Make sure your pencil's sharp, and that's going to be the starting point for our mitre. So our mitre is going to start at that point, and then it's going to go across that way like that. Now if your wall's not even, if it's at the bottom, and sometimes you'll get a flick out at the plaster at the bottom, you can just nibble that off until you get back to the flat wall, so your skating board will sit flat back. Now when you're cutting this mitre, there's a few different ways to do it. You can do it with a mitre block, you can do it with a mitre saw, you can do it with a jigsaw. You can set the base. What you can do is slacken the screw here in the base, and then you can tip the base onto 45 and you can go across it like that. I don't find that's very successful. It's a bit hard to do, and you're not going to get a very clean joint with a jigsaw. I've got a radial arm saw here in the workshop, so I'm going to take this over to the radial arm saw now. Now when you're cutting this, always double check. That's why you saw me put that little line there. So you can see that. I just put a line across, so it just reminds you which way you cut it. One of the most common mistakes with mitres is people cut them the wrong way. So just put a little mark on there to just remind you. We've got our cut, still got our line there, nice clean cut. So we've done our scribe, we've scribed it to the floor, the uneven floor, so when it sits on there, it sits down to the floor both sides, and we've also cut our mitre. So now we need this piece to go on here. Now this piece is going into an internal corner. So what we do, we don't mitre internal corners. because if you mitre internal corners, what happens is when you push this piece back to the wall and this piece back to the wall, you're basically pulling that joint apart, so you're going to end up with a gap there. So the right way is you need to do what's called a scribe on that corner. So we're going to mitre this side, and then that side we're just going to leave flat up to the wall. So this we're going to drop on like that. I'll just show you the sample, and we're going to slide it right up to the corner like that. And then on this side again, we're going to mark the back. So we're going to mark down there like that. And then if you remember, we know it's got to be this way on the mitre, so we're just going to put a little line on there to remind us. Okay, so I've got our scribe piece rescribed. We're going to drop that on, drop it in place. And we've got our other mitred piece with a flat edge, because that's going into an internal corner. We've got a lovely mitre corner there. Now we've got this bit here. Now this is going to be a scribe. So this corner here is going to be a scribe. So if I just push that skating board up to that skating board, of course, we've got a gap. It needs cutting to follow the profile of that skating board. So the easiest way to do this is first cut a mitre. Okay, so I've cut a mitre on this piece. Now if I get my pencil, can you see this edge here? You see that line there? You can see it well on here because it's MDF here and then it's primed here. So if you see that edge, if I follow that edge line like that all the way around that, if I cut that off there, cut all that waste away that's not wide, that edge there will be a perfect scribe. Now there's a few different ways. You can use things like a coping saw, the jigsaw I showed you earlier. Some people even use a table saw. I'm going to show you with the jigsaw. So I'm going to hold this. Ideally you want to fasten it down, get it on a bench or something, but I'm going to hold this so it's better for camera, just so you can see what's happening. I'm going to hold my jigsaw upside down and I'm going to cut it from the back side like that. That is a better way, because on the back here you've got a flat surface, whereas if I try and cut it from the top, I'm going to rag it and I'm going to struggle and it's just going to tip and I'm going to end up with a mess. So I'm going to hold it flat on the back like that, and I'm going to cut it from the back. Take little bits out at a time, don't rush. The longer you spend, the better joint you're going to get. We'll just slide this piece across. It goes lovely up there. So we've got our scribe corner on the internal, we've got our mitre corners on the external, and we've got our scribe across the bottom because of our uneven floor. So I hope that's helped you. So that's scribing to the floor, external mitre corners and internal scribe corners. So if you've liked that video and you want to see some more brilliant tutorials from Mick's Woodwork Wonders, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, hit like and share, and I'll see you lot on the next one.